Good morning, students. Today we will talk about some of the tribal rebellions from chapter 3. And at first we are talking about the Chua rebellion. The Chuas were a tribal people who lived in Bakura, Midnapur, Dalbhum and Manbhum regions. Instead of salaries, they were assigned rent-free lands for their service. These regions came under the jurisdiction of the East India Company in 1760 and high taxes were imposed. The Chuas revolted against this high rate of tax. The revolt spread to Midnapur, Bakura, Birbhum and Dalbhum. One of the leaders of this rebellion was Durjan Singh. Durjan Singh was a zamindar who was disposed of his zamindari estate as he had failed to comply with the sunset law in terms of the permanent settlement that was introduced by Lord Cornwallis. Okay, now the Chuas faced the force of the company with their traditional weapons of bows, arrows and axe, but they were defeated and mercilessly suppressed by the company. Now let's talk about the characteristic features of the Chua rebellion. The Chua revolt was an armed tribal movement. This revolt was mainly a revolt against the British rule. The Chua revolt was not a revolt against the Indian zamindars. It was a revolt which witnessed the unity amongst the zamindars and the peasants. The British immediately stopped the takeover of the Paikan land. The zamindars also got some concessions when they failed to pay the revenue demand within the stipulated time. Now let's talk about another important tribal rebellion, that is the Coal Rebellion. The Coal Rebellion of 1831 illustrates the hostility of primitive tribes against the attempts to destroy their independence which they had enjoyed earlier. The immediate cause of the rebellion was the action of the Raja of Chotanagpur, who leased several villages to the Muslims and the Sikhs by depriving the coals of their ancestral rights. The rebellion spread rapidly to Singhbhum, Manbhum, Hazaribagh and the neighboring districts under the leadership of Buddhu Bhagat, Joa Bhagat and Madara Mahato. The ijaradars, landlords, mahajans, then grain merchants and the English officials were massacred by the coals and their houses were looted and destroyed. The rebels threatened to kill the Dikus, that is the outsiders, if they did not leave Chotanagpur. In 1833, the British were able to suppress this rebellion by slaughtering thousands of tribals. Now let's come to the characteristic features of the Coal Rebellion. The Coal tribesmen did not fight alone against the British. Many other tribesmen joined hands with them. They even did not hesitate to fight with their traditional weapons against the British army, those who fought with their modern instruments of warfare. The Coal Rebellion prompted the British government to reconsider their administrative setup and adopt separate policy towards the tribals.